So we have lots of great recipes in the book, which we're going to tell you how to get your own copy of it. And we have some great recipes that we're going to prepare today. And I flew in. No, actually, he came on the megabus. My son, Joe. Joe's good to see you. I know. But Joe, we're going to make a recipe from your grandmother, my mom, whose picture is on the cookbook,
and who we've all had the pleasure here in the studio of we had the pleasure of meeting.
Right, she came on the show 2 times, I think. She was here for different things, but all of her recipes have been here time and time
again. They live on.
This is not the first time.
Yeah, and Joe was her only grandson. Which is a distinction that you wear well. And there's Mom with you at an early stage.
Oh, I love it.
I think that's a cookbook you're reading right there. I'm not sure. But
it's a big one.
You were the only grandson and her third Joe Fennimore. She married a Joe Fennimore. She had a son named Joe Fennimore, and she has a grandson named Joe Fennimore. So you're Joe Fennimore the third.
The finest, I might add. And on that note, I'm going to leave father and son alone in the kitchen.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. Now, so we're going to make something that my mom used to make for us, especially during Lent. It was called a rolled omelet. I don't know if she made this up. It's sort of it's a very simple, as a lot of our recipes are, but it's sort of a little wacky, just to make it special. So I'm going to start on the omelet and portion of this, the egg portion of this. Although actually, you can help me put some of this together, Joe. Let me put this stuff in the back. I don't need the recipe, that's for sure. I've only made this like 6,000 times. If you would just start to stir those and break those eggs up, because really what this is just it's like an omelet. But we're going to roll it out we're going to pour it into the pan and start to roll it up. Now into that, let me get the pan ready too. I'm going to put a little bit of butter, not a whole stick. For those of you, I know, everybody's disappointed. My nickname is Stick of Butter Fennimore here at the station, so that's what everybody's oohing and ahhing about. I might as well put the rest of that in there. It's just going to sit around. Okay, so into that, now you can put the some breadcrumbs. Now you don't get to do, put all of them.
Okay.
That's about, I don't know, half a cup of breadcrumbs. And we just want to put those in. And that's going to give a different texture to this omelet. I'm going to grate some cheese. This is Romano cheese, and as Joe knows, we very rarely have grated cheese. We always grate it fresh because I just like the flavor. There's so much better.
Yeah, this cheese is a staple in our house, and we're never without our microplaner.
Yes. So again, these measurements. I've had to find measurements. But my mother never really measured. I think she did this depending upon how many people were going to be over, how much breadcrumbs she had.
Was it your mom or your grand who did the 1 cup, and it was her coffee mug, not actually a cup?
It wasn't a cup, so you couldn't really go by that measurement. All right, you want that in there. I'm going to grab these
parsley.
Parsley. You move over a little bit. Sure. Give me some cutting space here. I'm just going to bunch this up. You really want to get that smooth, Joe, so you work it a little bit. And you don't get to do much cooking up at school, do you?
No, not with the dining halls being my primary source of sustenance.
And they're right outside the door of your dorm, right?
Yep. But whenever I come home, I always enjoy the chance to do some cooking again.
Yep.
In a real kitchen.
All right, so I have this butter, and it's just started to brown, which means to me that it's pretty much ready. And I'm going to put this nice fresh parsley in here, mix that around. And then I'm going to take over this side. And if you would go over here, because what we want you to do is to put a little bit of olive oil in that other pan. We're going to make a little salsa for this. I'm just going to chop an onion.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
that's good. And, you know, I don't know if you can see that, Joe, but when you see the oil glistening like that, that's when the oil is hot enough. In the meantime, as they say, I'm going to pour this mixture into the pan. All right, that's all. It's easy so far. Easy, easy. Put this in here. And I'm going to make sure that it sort of flattens out. All right? Okay. Now, into that pan. And you always want to make sure that you hear it sizzle. I'm going to wash my hands a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. Well, so you want to get that so the onion is, as they say, translucent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut up some basil, which we're going to use to finish this dish. Flavor of basil and tomato.
Never a bad thing.
Yeah. During the summer, Joe and I make lots of
Capri
salads. You know, that's our favorite combination of flavors. All right, you got that going. I'm going to also chop up an garlic, just for a little flavor in that salsa. Okay, put that in.
Ready?
And when you think that's ready, Joe, then I need you to add the
Tomatoes.
the tomatoes, yes. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean this forward. I'm going to pull some of this egg back to this side, all right? And I'm going to start to roll up this omelet. This is the technique that Mom used to create this rolled omelet. I'll put a little more heat on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then slide it forward.
Okay. I think we're ready for tomatoes.
Okay. There you go. And you can crank the heat up on that too if you want.
Sure.
All right.
Which one are we doing?
That's the one there.
Alrighty.
Yeah, because we want to burn off some of the liquid on that.
Right.
And I'm going to keep rolling this omelet and pushing it forward, pulling the
Oh, this looks
uncooked.
so good.
Yeah. I'm going to need another utensil. This is hot.
Yeah.
My mother had asbestos hands. Your grandmother.
Even more than yours?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that possible.
Well, you get accustomed to a certain amount of heat. There you go.
I have your dad's hands on the,
Yes,
on the
my-
other
my-
end
my-
of the spectrum.
My dad could not even, when he would, he couldn't eat a soft-boiled egg because he couldn't get the shell off of it. You know, we had to shell his egg for him. All right. So this is a little bit tedious, a little time-consuming here with this omelet, but
It's worth it.
yeah, I think so.
Because we're going to end up with the little rolls of
Yes,
egg.
you'll see. It's going to be miraculous here. All right. But I want to make sure that it gets brown on each one of these surfaces that I'm turning.
Just going to add the salt and pepper.
Oh, yeah. Want to season that up a little bit. Oh, that came nice. Look at that nice log of omelet. Now, one of the things is that my mother, your grandmother, never liked soft or uncooked eggs. She wasn't French, she was Sicilian, and
I was
she
just
felt,
about to ask who does.
yeah. Well,
Well,
there are a
I
lot of
take
people
that
like a
back.
soft egg, but even eggs over, they had to be over well, not. Put this. Okay, so now, if you want to put this in, son,
Sure.
there you go. Now, you didn't get to cook that much with your grandmother, did you?
No, unfortunately not.
Because she was always cooking for you. But,
Right.
You know, you weren't of an age at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to take this out of the pan, roll it out onto the board. There's still some butter in the bottom there. And I'm going to slice this down on the bias
Okay.
and put that cut edge down. I cut them in about, I don't know, 3/4 inch. You could make them thicker or thinner. And the reason Mom did this is to make sure that if there was any uncooked egg at the center of this, that it got totally firm.
Good idea. Parsley looks great in there.
Oh, yeah. Parsley adds such a fresh flavor to things. It's really,
And then between that and the fresh salsa here.
yeah, it's going to be delicious. Okay. So there we go. One more. And so now I'm just going to shake them up a little bit. Right? That's looking so good.
Delicious.
Yes. All right. I'm going to give these one flip. All right. And your great-grandmother knew you, but you didn't know her, right?
No.
Yeah. But you still have your other grandma,
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I do.
Grandma
Grandma Formella.
Formella, but we call her Annie, right?
Yeah.
That's well, one of the things that we did for the cookbook was to list all of the names that people have for their grandmothers that they were good enough to send in. All right,
It's very sweet and very funny.
If you would put some down on the bottom of this here, yeah, just scoop up some. There you go. A little bit more, because then we may put some more on top. Oh, Joseph. That's,
Oops, got a little bit in there.
That's all right. And
Live
now
TV.
I'm going to put these out. And this was, this is what we would have during Lent, these non-meat days.
But you still get your protein in.
Yeah. But I got to say, I love these things. Got that. The end ones. Okay. And let's just put this out. And I'm going to pour a little bit right on there. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to turn the heat off. Just so we can get it. There we go. Got to get a little bit on each
Don't be
piece.
stingy. Just-
Yes, sir. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy, baby. We got a plate there, and we're gonna have a little taste. I gotta have a taste too. There we go.
I'm going to grab a little bit more salsa from mine.
You want a little more sauce on yours? Okay.
Yep.
This is the, and here's your fork.
Thank you.
So here's a little wisdom from your grandma that you
Alrighty.
can take with you back to school and for the rest of your life. See what I mean?
Further.
That's a really good thing. A different texture
man.
than an omelet because of the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I was going to say the cheese and breadcrumbs really give it something extra.
Lots of fresh flavors from the tomatoes and the onions and the basil
And the parsley.
This is filled with Grandma's wisdom, and this recipe, along with over 100 more terrific recipes from all of our grandmothers, are in our brand new cookbook, and here's how you can get yours.
Great, great.